Hi. I just thought I'd pop on here really quickly and talk a little bit about one little word. I have just started the project for 2019. This is a project by Allie Edwards, and if you're not familiar with it, then you can go ahead and click down below. I'm leaving a link that will tell a little bit more about it. But I have done one little word, picked a word, and taken the class. I'm trying to remember, but I can't. I think at like 4 or 5, maybe even 6 years ago is when I first started. And like December Daily, if you follow my channel, you'll know that this year was the very first year that I ever finished December Daily. I started many years and never completed an entire album. Same with One Little Word. Now, that said, one thing that Allie talks about is what does success mean with this project, and we all have to define what that means for us. And I would not say that I have failed. I would say that every year that I have done this, I've picked a word. Some years those words have been better for me than others, but most of them have actually been pretty good. And every year I have sat with my word for the year, or at least most of it, and it has helped me making choices or making progress in just becoming a better human. And so in that sense, I've always been successful with one little word. One thing that I haven't been successful with, however, is I have not been successful with actually completing the product, using the products, and then completing an album or whatever. So what that means is I'm really good at purchasing the product, but I'm not always so good at completing the task. And so one of the things that really helped, motivated me, kept me accountable with December Daily this past year was that I took process videos of all of my days, all of my December days. And so as I work through the one little word prompts, I think I'm gonna try to see if doing the same thing here would help me stay on track and complete the prompts more than just in my mind and more than just thinking, but actually coming out at the end of 2019. Oh my goodness, I said 2019. Yeah, it is 2019. Whoa. Coming out at the end of 2019, the beginning of 2020, and being not only having had it change me as a person, but also have documentation of that change and documentation of my feelings and my process and the ways that my word has helped me. So this is the first video in that series, and I'm gonna start today by just kind of showing you what I have gathered together to create, hopefully help me be more successful by having all of the things that I might need in one location. So I'm gonna turn around the camera and I'm gonna show you what I have. And like I said, remember, I'm really good at purchasing products, but I'm not always so good at using them. I am for some things, but not for this class so far. So I have some stuff from the past, and I have some present, and I have some added things that I've put in my pile, and I'm certain that it will continue. So I would like to show you what I have so far. And so yeah, here we go. All right, so this year I decided, just like with my December Daily, that I was going to go ahead and use a traveler's notebook style. So I purchased from Colorcast Designs. This, you can get, these are custom, obviously, and my one little word this year is light. And so this has light on it, it's a front and back cover, it comes with rings. And so I'm assuming that this is going to work for me for the year. I think that I should be able to put in the cards, because this is so the papers that I usually cut when I use these traveler's notebook styles are about 4¼ inches by 8¼ inches. And so that means that the 3x8 page protectors will also fit in here. So if I want to go that route, I can. For some of the things, I anticipate that I'll probably use pattern papers, white cardstock, those sorts of things, and maybe add the cards in as I go. So there's that. So also I purchased, I did purchase the main kit. So I have the Make It Visible. I have some of these are from the main kit, but also I pulled out, Allie does a monthly kit, and one of the monthly kits, I've been a subscriber since she started, and one of the monthly kits is the light kit. And so I have the word from that because, like, remember I said I'm really good at purchasing things, but not always good at using up the product as quickly as it comes. And so I hadn't even opened the light kit yet, I'm embarrassed to say. So some of this chipboard is from the light kit. And so there are this is from the light kit. It says light on it and bright and glow. It has love the way you shine, some things like that. So there are some chipboard and some puffy stickers and some words, circles, those sorts of things. These are suns that came in the light kit, and I may end up using those. I'm not really sure. Also, some of this chipboard, I think, okay, this came from the light kit, and these came from the One Little Word add-on. I think it was called, I can't remember, but it was like bright. I'll link it below, but I think it was like the bright chipboard add-on, maybe, I don't know, but this has a lot of the One Little Word ideas in it, like showing up, and the idea that it's really all about you. So also included, I have I have these words and black and white words. These this is from the main kit. I also threw in a few things from past One Little Word kits. So I think, not positive, but I think that these labels and alpha stickers are from One Little Word maybe last year or the year before. And then these are the 4x6 cards that go with the light kit. And so I put those in there thinking that that might be something that I might want to use. Okay, so what I've done, and I'm not going to go through all of this, but what I have done is I've taken all of those things from those various kits. So past One Little Word kits, current One Little Word kit, as well as the light kit. And I have grabbed them all and stuck them in here. I did get the One Little Word, these are the monthly, I think they're rubber stamps or something, or rubber, I'm not sure if they're rubber. I grabbed a couple of, I think this is from one of the Allie One Little Word kits, maybe, or a Christmas December daily one. These are made by One Little Bee, but they match. They kind of have that gold, and then the black and white. And I don't know that I'll go the gold route, but I know that some of the stuff is already has that in there, and then gold kind of goes with the whole light idea. I purchased this year. This is the self-care stamp set. Here's the One Little Word from, I think, past years. I don't know if those are still available. And then I get the story kits. I also get the stamps with the story kit, and I thought it might be cool to have some light bulbs and some of these sayings, what I think would actually go really well with what I'm thinking for my word. I printed out, I cut on my silhouette a few light bulbs. I don't know if I'll use this or not. I cut these actually for a different project, and this is just on some of that like sticker maker stuff. I don't know what it's called. And so it's ready to go in my album if I want it to. I also purchased this year the One Little Word roller stamp, and so there's that. And so this is what I'm thinking for my cover of my One Little Word book this year. Let me set that aside. I was thinking that I would go kind of simple, and I think I'm going to put my Make It Visible right on the cover, and I realize that it does cover up the word light, but I think that you can still see what it says. And then I thought I would take this circle, which is from the main kit, and just glue it here. So that's what I'm like thinking that I'm just going to do for the title. So I have some red liner tape, and I thought I would just use that to adhere it to, I don't know if this might be too thick. Yeah. So I can use this thinner stuff, to adhere it to the actual cover of my book. I am not exactly sure what I'm going to do for if I'm going to do like a cover page or what that's going to look like. I haven't really decided yet. But once I do, I will probably stick that in this same video and just pop back on, even if it's not today that I do it, and show the first kind of prompt or the beginning before even the prompt. I know I was thinking that I would start my December, or not December daily, I would start my one little word book with kind of an introduction. I don't want to call it that. I don't know what to call it, but kind of a cover page a little bit, and then start the prompts kind of after you flip over that first page is what I'm thinking, but I don't really know what I'm going to do. But that's kind of what's in my head at this point. So thank you for following my channel, and I hope that you'll find at least some of this interesting for you, as well as I love it when I get comments or subscriptions or whatever, just because it keeps me motivated to continue making the videos, which I think will keep me motivated to continue to document my word rather than just live with my word, which there's nothing wrong with just living with your word. I mean, Allie would tell you that in a second, and I'm no Allie, but I completely agree with her that it's really all about us and what we want to have happen with our word. But one of the things that I would really like is I would like to make it visible, make my word visible in my life. I have made other words visible in my life throughout. I haven't been completely lax in that, but like I said, I've never come out with an album in the end, and I want to make that happen this year. So yeah, so it kind of goes with my word, to be honest, because one of the things that I need to do is I need to lighten up. And one of the ways that I need to lighten up is realize that every layout that I do, every project that I do doesn't need to be perfect. And I don't have to have, sometimes things that hold me back are things that when I'm trying to make it look just a certain way. And so sometimes that will hold me back and I will not get something completed. And so lightening up, it would go with my word light. Another way that this actually fits with my word is the fact that I need to, I don't know what the word would be. It's light, but I don't know how to add to that. I need to have less stuff. So I need to lighten my stuff. And one way to do that is to use it. And so I'm hoping that with this word, one of the things that I will bring into my life is getting rid of, and by using up, some of that stuff that I have accumulated and have not used. Like I said, I'm really good, and I don't think I'm unique in this. I'm good at purchasing things. I'm good at collecting a good stash, and I'm not always good at using all of it. So that is my goal. So that is another reason that I'm doing these videos. So if you can relate with that, if you want to help me out in that goal, watch them. Encourage me along the way, or just enjoy. That one did not work. That one did not come off. Hopefully you'll get something from it, some sort of inspiration. So if you are doing one little word, I would love it if you would share in the comments maybe what your word is. You might want to share how you're planning to make your word visible. I would love to hear it. Or if you are doing one little word, I would see you, I'm sure, over in the forum, or the Facebook page. So if you're doing one little word and actually taking the class, then you will have access to that Facebook page. And if you do, I would love to hear from you even over there, or a private message, or whatever works. So I think I'm going to put a little bit of foam adhesive there, and then, oh, that works perfectly actually, except for it's a little crooked. and then I can just glue. I wonder if I should put a little bit of tangled thread behind that. I'm not sure. I'm just gonna leave that for now, and then when I do my inside page, I will be sure to show you the cover as well. So thanks a lot for stopping by, and I do hope that this is a series that continues and that you continue to watch. Thanks a lot. All right, I'm back, and I have decided to go ahead and tackle my title page today. It's a new day, and I have a vision in my mind of what I want to have this look like. So my thought is I am going to put some yellow behind these 3 light bulbs, and then the rest of the page is going to be kind of more orange. So right now I am using these 2 Vicki Boutin crayons. I put them, they're art crayons, and I can just scribble them right on my mat. Then I'm using the Vicki Boutin stiff brush to just pull it up off the mat. You just pull it right up off the mat. That's all you do, and then you put it right onto the page. And I'm using some watercolor paper because I knew I was going to add a bunch of water to this page. So the next step, once I put the yellow on there, is I'm using this distress ink that is orange, and I'm adding that, and then adding water, and then adding some more, and adding water, using my brush some of the times, and then sometimes I'm just letting it run down. And it looks kind of like a hot mess right now, but in the end you'll see I really like the way it ended up looking up in the end. So some of the times I'm taking the distress ink and putting it on my craft mat, adding some water there so that I can use my brush. I'm using my brush to help it kind of fall down to the bottom of the page and drip off the bottom of the page. And just kind of going back and forth and back and forth. And now my first layer pretty much is done. And I'm going to come back after it dries, I think. Yeah. And I'm going to show you what I'll do next. So these I cut on my Silhouette Studio. They are a cut file from the cut shop. The word light is a digital file that came with the Light story kit. I get the digital file because I get both of the story kit and the stamps, and so the digital files come free. And so I just used that and cut it out of white cardstock. And now what I'm doing is I poked holes, and I am tying my thread here. I'm just using some embroidery thread, and I'm going to stitch down from the top to make it look like these light bulbs are hanging from the top of the page down. And so to do this, I'm going to try doing a chain stitch. So what you do is you come up from the bottom and then go down the same hole from the top, then come up from the bottom again, but in the next hole, and you have a little loop there. The next one will show you a little bit better. And it comes up, you come up from the bottom, and then you have that little loop there. See that? So now I'm going to go down the same hole and hold it with my thumb, come up the next hole, and go through that loop. Go down the same hole here as I just came up, leave a little loop there with my thumb, then come up the next hole, and there you go. And I'm going to do that all 3 light bulbs, and I just went ahead and did that off camera. So now I'm going to put my next layer on my background, and I'm just adding more of the same stuff, but I'm doing it so that my yellow and my orange kind of blend a little bit more together. It doesn't really matter that they blend perfectly because the light bulbs are going to go over it anyway and create a division, but I kind of want the yellow to bleed out into the orange so that it's kind of going outside of the cut file. Then I'm using my Distress Oxide, adding some water to it, and making some splatters across the page just for another layer. And I'm mixing the crayons in with that and all of that. So making some big blobs and some little splatters and letting that dry. So once that dries, then I'm going to come, while that's drying actually, I'm going to work on my light bulbs. So I put a little dot of glue, and then I'm flipping it over, and I am tying a bow. It's just a simple bow. It takes me forever because I cut my embroidery floss a little too small, so my hands were not working very well. Once I get the little bow tied, then I am going to put a little glue on it to have it hold there a little bit. I'm going to do that with each of the 3 light bulbs. So the other 2 light bulbs, I was a little bit better at cutting it a little bit longer to start with so that I wouldn't have such a hard time tying them. But I did those off camera. Now I'm ready to just glue everything together. So when I glue down my light bulbs, I'm going to use this. Oh, I forgot. I decided that when I put the light word on there, I wanted it to sit on something. It was just like it was laying out there in the middle of nowhere with no grounding. And so I decided to take my sewing machine, just some white thread, and stitch messy stitching behind where the word light is going to go. So now for my gluing, I am just going to glue around the outside of the light bulb and leave the inside not glued down so that it will kind of stick up a little bit from the page. It just gives a little bit of dimension. And I'm making sure to put some good amount of glue like where that thread is so that it sticks down really well. And then once I add the word light, I am going to cut off the part that hangs over. I like it when things go off the page a little bit. So I'm doing that, and then I think I call it done. I'll have to poke holes in it and stick it in my my traveler's notebook. So pretty cool. I like the way this ended up. Oh, I do add a little star from Color Cast Designs. It's just a little white star for my dot on my eye. So there, it's finished. Thanks a lot for stopping by. The close-ups are going to come up pretty soon. I just give you kind of an idea of what it looks like in a still photograph. I'm adding just a little bit more of that distress ink to the sides, just at the top to make it look a little bit darker up there. And that's about it. Most of my videos are voiceovers like this. So if you like that, you go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks a lot.